Are you too stubborn to recover from your chronic pain? Yes, you. Christian St. John here with Your Life Beyond Pain. And I can ask if you're too stubborn to recover, because I was one of the most stubborn people out there when it came to taking years to realize that my chronic pain condition, in my case chronic pelvic pain, was neuroplastic in nature, was more of a mind-body syndrome in nature versus prostatitis or versus anything being physically wrong with me. So I was just thinking recently about how stubborn we can be as humans, really just hanging on to our beliefs and not willing to change, and how that can really prevent us from moving beyond our pain and moving towards recovery when it comes to your suffering from your chronic pain condition. So a lot of people that reach out to us at Your Life Beyond Pain are not really open to the idea that what they have is not really physical. When I mean that, of course, your pain is very real, it's very physical, it feels physical because it is, but with neuroplastic conditions or mind-body conditions or TMS, the pain is actually being generated by the brain. All pain is generated by the brain, and those pain signals are being sent by the brain to specific areas of the body much longer than the normal course of healing, right? So if you think about it, if you have tissue damage or break a bone or whatever it is, it's going to take weeks or maybe just even a couple months to heal. But if it's been months and years, and in some cases decades, and you're still suffering with a chronic pain condition, oftentimes what that means is there's a faulty signal, right? Your brain is sensing some sort of danger and is continuing to send signals to certain areas of your body that you're under distress, right? And those signals can oftentimes show up as mystery symptoms, pain, symptoms that move around, right? Whether it's fibromyalgia, chronic pelvic pain, chronic back pain, neck pain. We have different clients where the pain moves different areas of their body, tingling, numbness, right? There's a whole host of symptoms that can arise in more of a neuroplastic case. So whether it's people that reach out to us or people online that I see, it's frustrating for me because their stubbornness in willing to accept that what they have is more neuroplastic and more mind-body ultimately delays their recovery, and in many cases prevents them from ever recovering. So for instance, I recently saw in one of the forums online that I'm in regarding chronic pelvic pain, because that was my condition for nearly 3 years. I spent nearly 3 years and over $50,000 of my hard-earned money trying to get out of that in the traditional biomedical with the traditional biomedical approach before this stubborn guy or man realized, hey, there's nothing physically wrong with me. What the heck am I doing? Maybe I need to go about this in a different way. So I saw someone post recently that they had been suffering, or they are suffering, for 30 years. 30 years. Calling it prostatitis, right? Thinking that they had prostatitis. And they're asking now, after 30 years of suffering, if what they have might actually be CPPS, chronic pelvic pain syndrome, aka, in most cases, mind-body syndrome, neuroplastic pain. They're just coming to that realization now, after 30 years. And while that's an extreme case or scenario, I see this all the time. I see it in my case, 2 years of suffering and 2 years of being stubborn before realizing, hey, maybe this is mind-body, maybe this is neuroplastic. In many cases, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. So I'm going to ask you, if that's you and you've been suffering way beyond the normal course of healing for months, years, or even decades, and you think there's even a small inkling that your symptoms might be stress related, anxiety related, emotionally related, mind body related, neuroplastic, even if you only believe it 5 to 10%, one of the best things that you can do is embrace that and start leaning into that and start learning as much as you can about this. Otherwise, what's your alternative? Are you just going to continue for another 3 years, another 5 years, another 10 years? Right? Are you going to be like this gentleman that I came across online, suffering for 30 years, just wondering now if what he has is even what it's been classified, it's prostatitis? Or is it possible that you can let go a little and work on changing? I'm not saying it has to be 100% overnight shift, because it took time for me even to buy into it and to start learning skills and activities and practicing and developing habits that we now teach through our Your Life Beyond Pain program. It took me a lot of time, but I was at least open to it. So, all right, you can be right or you can be recovered, but oftentimes you can't be both. And what I found is so many people are just stuck on being right. They have to grip onto their story. They have to grip onto their suffering. They have to grip onto their label. Whatever that label is, whether it's the label that the biomedical model gives them, such as labeling a condition. And the irony is many of these conditions are mystery labels anyway, like fibromyalgia. It's basically a wastebasket label for symptoms and pain and things that people feel that the doctors don't even know what it is. Let's label it fibromyalgia. Right? And if you're suffering with fibromyalgia, I'm not minimizing what you have. I'm just using that as an example. Let's label it neck pain, back pain, pelvic pain, prostatitis. So my question for you is, if you're continuing to go to the doctors, have the tests done, go to the physical therapist, take the medications, and you're still in pain, and you're still suffering, and you're still not recovered, why is that? Why is that? Right? Do you think it's possible that you can release some of your stubbornness? I can tell you, the moment that I accepted there was nothing physically wrong with me, everything changed for me. There was a huge shift inside of me. So, what are you losing, right? What are you losing by exploring other alternatives? What are you losing by letting go of the story? What are you losing by releasing some of that stubbornness, right? Life's going to keep giving you the lesson until you learn the lesson. Life is going to keep giving you the lesson until you learn the lesson. Are you willing to learn it? Are you willing to discover why you might continue to have this pain for so long, and what that may mean, or what the hidden message might be behind that? Or do you want to just continue suffering? That's an option too. A lot of people, they just continue. They'll continue with physical therapy, and I've had people tell me, they say, Christian, I know that what I have is neuroplastic. I know that it's mind-body syndrome. I know that it's anxiety or stress related. I know that I need to change. But let me just continue going to the physical therapist. And let me just keep doing that. But you know, it's expensive. The physical therapist is expensive. I have to pay out of pocket for it. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway. Well, has it been working? Right? If you've been going to a physical therapist for months or years, and you're still not recovered, why do you continue to do it? Does that make any sense? And look, I'm not anti-physical therapists. I think physical therapists are some of the most giving, loving, caring, selfless people out there. And there's a time and place for physical therapists. Post-surgery, post-injury, acute injury, right? Post-acute trauma to work on some biomechanics. They do miraculous work. But this idea that you've been trying to address something purely physically for months or years and decades, and it's not working, yet you think the answer is that you're going to continue addressing it that way until it works, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. We've all heard what the definition of insanity is. If you haven't, it's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So look, I know this message is a little hard-hitting and it's not lovey-dovey, but that's okay, right? We're not here to make friends. We're here to speak the truth, and we're here to help people transform. We're here to help people get their life back. We're here to help people live their life beyond pain. So if you're someone that is sick and tired of being stubborn, and if you're someone that's willing to change and wants to change, but you just need that extra nudge, and if you think what you have might be more neuroplastic in nature, or mind-body, or TMS in nature, and everything else you've done up until this point hasn't really worked for you, and if you're willing to commit to learning these skills and learning these activities and building habits, check us out. Check us out. We have a great program at Your Life Beyond Pain. This is where we work with you hand in hand to provide this education, teach you these skills, help you build the habits that you'll need to develop over time to eventually break free and get your life back. All right, a life beyond pain. Like I'm doing now. Traveling, exercising, eating what I want, working out, sitting in a hard chair, no issues. And I couldn't sit. For 6 months I had to stand up. I couldn't sit down. I had electric shock style pain inside my urethra. I had knife style pain inside my penis anytime I was sitting. When I was biking on the Peloton bike, the indoor spin bike, the doctor told me, sell that bike, right? He said, I was damaging all the nerves, creating all the pelvic pain. He said, sell that bike, never get on that bike again. I just finished up a workout on the Peloton. I do it 2 times, sometimes up to 4 times a week, up and down on the hard bike seat with no padding. Right? I'm not saying this to brag or impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you that a lot of this stuff is nonsense. The pain isn't nonsense. The pain's very real. What you're going through is not nonsense. The story that we tell ourselves is often nonsense. And the sooner you could loosen the grip, the sooner you could stop being stubborn, the sooner you can get over yourself, just like I did, the better you are. All right? So if you're ready to make that jump, or if you're someone out there that gets this, but just needs some support, needs some accountability, needs someone to help guide you through, check us out in the description below. Right? We'd love to work with you if you are a good fit. But what we do is not for everyone. It's not easy. And we're very selective. We have about a 90% rejection rate for some of the reasons that I just shared. We want to make sure we're working with the right people so we can actually help. So that's the message for today. Are you stubborn? And what's that costing you? Right? At the end of the day, it's just your life. Another 2 years, another 4 years, another 6 years, another 10 years. And people are sitting around thinking they have forever, right? Like this person has been wondering for 30 years if they have prostatitis or if it's chronic pelvic pain. Like 30 years, they've lost the majority of their life, if not half of their life or more, because a lot of these cases are younger folks, wondering and suffering and waiting. One day it's all gone, right? So this idea that you're going to take time to recover, and this idea that you're going to take time to figure it out, like, sorry, you don't have unlimited time. I don't have unlimited time. I'm never going to be able to get those 2 years back, ever. When I was lying in the fetal position, unable to leave my house, in excruciating pain, missing the birthdays, missing the holidays, missing travel, missing time with my friends, missing time with my family, that is never coming back, ever. So what's more important? Getting with the program and getting on with it and getting after it, or being stubborn and hanging on to your story and missing out on life? So I hope this message resonated with you. I hope it gave you a little gentle push and inspiration, if you will. And if you're someone that doesn't resonate with this, that's fine too. That's fine too. Maybe you'll find this again in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Because remember, life keeps giving us the lesson until we learn the lesson. So that's the message for today. Stop being stubborn. Love you.